Hi everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you today how to make Pandy Paws from Gabby's Dollhouse out of gum paste. And now don't forget, if there's any supplies or tools you see me use that you think you could use, if you check the link in the description below, it should be able to help you out. Alright, to begin our Pandy Paws, we are going to start with his body. I am taking some white gum paste, and this is gum paste, it's not fondant. And I made it kind of into a rectangular or squared off kind of lump there. I'm using some gray gum paste that I rolled out very, very thin to make his little tummy patch. I had a circle cutter there. Pulled it to make it a little more like an egg shape and stick it right onto his belly. I'm trying to smooth it in so it doesn't stick out too much. Now I'm going to put a lollipop stick straight down the center of the body, and that will give me support for the head and everything. And now I'm going to kind of need you to play a little bit of pretend with me. Just pretend we're in Gabby's dollhouse right now. And you see all those other parts of the body. Pretend they don't exist. Pretend we're just still working on the torso there. I thought it was too big. I didn't like how big it was. He's supposed to have a little body and a big head, just like every other stinking, cartoon character for little kids. They have enormous heads. So I trimmed it off. Made it a whole lot smaller. I just rounded it off. I didn't do anything different. I just made it smaller. Now, again, we're going to pretend that that head right there doesn't exist. I'll show you how to make it soon. Right now I'm doing the legs. I rolled out a couple of pieces, so I got a couple Tootsie Rolls there. Made sure they're the same length. This is still just more white gum paste. As you saw, I smushed off the ends and then trimmed off the extra parts that kind of flared out to the side. And now with a little bit of water, I'm tucking them right underneath the body. Okay, we're going to do some more pretending. Pretend his little bag isn't there. I'll show you that pretty soon too. And I'm going to now make his little black feet. So I'm taking a ball of gum paste, black gum paste, and I kind of shape it into like a little letter L or something. Just make like a little booty or little sock. And as long as the one end is flat and the same size as the leg, when you press it up against it, you can kind of smush it to make it fit. And then you've got his legs. They're not hard at all. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I made that bag that was sitting right there, because it's kind of important because it needs to go on before the arms. The arms and the tail that you see do not exist. They're in your imagination. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I cut out a rectangle of that hot pink color there. I'm making some purple gum paste stripes. I rolled it out pretty darn thin, and I'm just going to lay them over the bag going horizontally. I actually had to stop and think, like, oh, is it vertical or is it horizontal? Which one is it? Horizontally, going the long length of the bag. Okay, I added 3 stripes. I put some water on the back of the gum paste. I'm just trimming off the extras so it wraps around the side. And there you go. You made his little bag. Just stick it up against the side there. And again, okay, pretending the head's not there. We're going to do the arms next. Okay. Just like before, when we did the legs, you just roll out your Tootsie Rolls of white fondant, or excuse me, white gum paste. Jeez, fondant, what the heck am I saying? It is gum paste, and I have the one end cut at an angle that'll go up against his shoulder. The other side I have flattened off, I kind of pinched it off a bit, and that is where his little black paw is going to attach. So a little bit of water, hold it up against the bag, and then a little bit of water at the end of his little white stump. Put the black ball in, and you'll just kind of press it to shape up to the arm, and you're good. Same thing with the other arm. Cut it off at a good angle for the shoulder. I was just holding it up to make sure it wasn't too long there. When it's a good length, trim off any extra white you need to. Add your little ball of black and just kind of smush it up into place. Add some more water, put it up against his body, and there you go. Once again, pretending the head isn't there, but we know it is. It still looks cute, right? Okay. He's missing his tail. So once again, just like the arms, just like the legs, roll out your big long Tootsie Roll. Flatten off one end so it can park right under his hiney. Add a little black ball of gum paste to the end of his tail. Easy, right? Pandy's actually pretty easy. He's not too bad. Okay, now I'm going to add the bag strap that goes around his shoulder. So, there we go. The head is gone. Yay, because we didn't make it yet, right? Okay, so we got the pink strap. Gonna have it attached to the one end of the bag, go up it's gonna go up and under his head, and then around his back, out from under his head back to the other side. So you see I have it laid out there. I connected it with water. Just see what I'm doing right there. I have it connecting to the 2 ends of his bag. And now I'm going to trim off the part of the strap once it gets underneath his head. If I didn't do that and then I put his head on top, it's going to sit crooked. So that's why I did that. So his head will sit nice and flat. All right, this is again the first attempt that I made where I hated it and I redid his body so the strap isn't there. we're going to pretend it is. I apologize. There's a lot of make-believe in this video, but bear with me. All right, I'm working on the head right now. Once again, we got a giant, kind of squared off, roundish piece of white gum paste. I used my ball tool to make 2 big holes right in the middle of his face. That's a bigger light gray circle that is going to be his nose patch that goes across his mouth and kind of his eyes and everything. But you see, I'm moving it up higher. It was a little bit too low. The gray goes pretty high between his eyes, so just be aware of that. It's a really big gray patch he has on his face. I'm going to make his ears next, so I'm just taking some loose white gum paste that I have and kind of shaping it into a cat ear because they are not, his ears are not pointy. They're rather large. They're more, if anything, I would say foxy. But, you know, just do the best you can. Make them kind of triangular, but keep them soft and rounded off. I use the one to just use as a template for the other so that they're as similar as I can make them. I am going to now take the one and trim off the top. You see I did that at an angle there? That's where we're going to add the black for his little black ear patch. So I've got some black gum paste that I'm shaping into the top of the ear of my original one. I'm matching it up where it'll attach. I put a mark on the back to know where to cut. Trim off the extra and then add a little bit of water, just like that. Put it together and it's like la la, it was meant to be. It actually went together really well. I was kind of happy with that. The cut was precise. Yes, so I'm making now 2 indentations, kind of triangular inside the ears with my, what is that? That was my paintbrush handle. I'm filling it in with the same hot pink that I used for his bag. Again, triangular shape. You're going to see it distorts the shape of the ear. Now it kind of bows out at the bottom because I did press down. Not a problem. We're just going to trim it off, so don't worry about that. Just take any extra, anything that's too much, and just trim it off. Make it nice and flat again. And now when you put the ears on, be careful of the placement. His ears do not touch at the top. There is a space between them, but they don't sit on the sides of his head. They are on the top of his head. They kind of come up, again, more foxy or wolfy, really, than cat to me, anyway. So just be aware of the placement when you attach them. I've just put 2 balls of white gum paste inside those eye sockets. And now I'm adding 2 large pieces of black gum paste to make the iris and pupil of his eyes. In the picture that I've had, in the little videos I've seen, I know his eyes kind of like are a dark gray color, sort of. So if you want to do that and then have a black pupil, go right ahead. I just went all black because it's just, his eyes are so dark, and technically he's a stuffed animal, so I was just kind of going more with the button eye look. I added a couple white balls of gum paste for highlights, as you saw there. And now I am puncturing his head 2 times, 2 little holes with my piece of dried spaghetti, and I'm going to make his whiskers. He has nice, pretty black whiskers, so I'm taking a little tiny piece of dried spaghetti. I wrap some black gum paste around it, and I pinch and pull it so all the extras to one side, so it's just barely wrapped around the spaghetti. It's as skinny as possible. And once I have it as small as I can get it, I'm going to plug it right into the hole. And if I didn't have those pilot holes already, when I tried to press it in or push it into his head, you're going to end up severely damaging and mangling up those whiskers. So trust me, that's experience talking right there. Make your pilot holes. Again, wrap the spaghetti, cut off the extra, and then gently place it in. There you go. Nice, right? All right, I'm doing his nose next. I have a little ball of pink gum paste that I'm going to kind of shape into a heart. So I'm pressing down in the center up top to the 2 sides on the other side, and using a food coloring marker, I am just drawing your quintessential little kitty cat mouth, and he has a tiny mouth, so just be careful of that. Now his head is kind of losing its shape a bit. I want it to tuck in more at the bottom, so that's what I was doing. I was just kind of pinching and rounding it off at the bottom there. All right, now we're going to add the stripes on the handle of the bag, or the strap of the bag. So I'm just cutting out some more of that purple, real skinny, making little squares basically that'll fit on the strap. And I'm just very carefully, with a little bit of water, just putting them into place. As you can see, just trim it off, stick it into place, and just keep on going till you go up to his neck, up where it kind of tucks underneath his head. If you want to do the back, go ahead and do that as well. All right, our last stop is to take a food coloring marker, put a little X on his belly, because that's his cute little belly button, and there you go. You got yourself a very sweet little Pandy Paws. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe because it really does help me out. Check out my many other videos I've got, plus a bunch of other Gabby's Dollhouse cats are already out there. And as always, thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.